everyone and welcome back. I'm really excited today to share with you a little project that I'm doing with this wood burning pen. This is a set that I recently received from Temu and I've been excited to try it out. So I'm going to share that with you. Before I do that though, I did have a little question about some of the dies that I received in that Temu order. So I just want to show you those. So there were a random set of 20 dies. Although when I counted them, I actually had 22, so I've got a sneaky 2 extra. And there were some that I weren't really sure of. Some people said, because I said this one I thought was a tribal mask, and then somebody said, oh, is it a rocket? And I've had it upside down. So I thought, well, I'll die cut them out and then I can kind of see what I think. But I think that is actually a tribal face, because that looks like that's the mouth, that's the eyes. You know, when they kind of stretch their earlobes or in earrings maybe. And then this is just some really cool tribal headgear that they've got on. So I think it is a tribal mask, because when I tip it that way for a rocket, I mean, I guess it could kind of get away with being a rocket, but I don't think those two bits on the end are actually for a rocket. So that's why I'm thinking still a tribal mask for that one. Then I had this cowboy silhouette, and again somebody said, oh, is it not a bunny perhaps upside down? No, it is definitely a cowboy, a little silhouette of a cowboy. So yeah, but considering they're probably the only two that I would possibly not use out of that pack of random dies, I thought that was pretty good. And considering I got 22, essentially, I actually still got my 20. And then people were asking about the quality of dies as well. Those cut out absolutely beautifully, considering they're smaller dies. I mean, I know they're not particularly intricate. But because they are smaller dies, sometimes they can be fiddly, but they've cut out perfectly fine. I also ordered some frame dies. It was a set of 4 frames. So I've cut those out in all sorts of things. So I've got things from like really thin book paper. I've even got some map in here. So an old vintage map that I've cut into the frame as well. I've used some different sort of scrapbooking paper. This is kind of a heavier scrapbooking paper, and that's still cut really well. So the frames cut just as good as well. They've cut through all of these brilliantly. I didn't have any tearing anywhere, and I quite often did 2 or 3 layers at once. So I had 2 or 3 layers of the different papers, and then I just cut it out just to kind of save some time, because now I've got a whole bundle of frames. So yeah, the dies I am very pleased with from that order. I haven't yet used the lace or the envelopes yet. My daughter's absolutely loving the googly eyes stickers that I gave her. You've obviously seen in my videos already me using the glue bottles. Absolutely love these, prefer these to the bottles that I had. So yeah, on with the wood burning pen. So pretty much straight after my other Temu video where I was just showing all of the different products that I'd received and doing a little bit of a review of Temu themselves and my experience with Temu, I did have a little play straight away. This is my hand-drawn sunshine. Please don't laugh, I'm not an artist. So that's my little hand-drawn sunshine, and I think it actually did really well. But I'm not an artist, and because you have to draw your design on, I was thinking, how else can I get some lovely patterns without relying on my artistic skills? So then I thought stencils. So I stenciled this pattern on the back. It still worked well. There is a little bit of bleeding, but I think that's obviously just down. These are just these cheap wood key rings, and I've got a few of these actually. I've got a whole stack of them. So I've pulled some more out to have a play around with. And while I was searching for those, I found these. I've got, they're kind of like nesting trays. But when I move, I'm going to be moving soon, I want to actually have these up on display and then have these as like little mini shelves. So yeah, I thought maybe I can start decorating them. Now I'm probably going to decoupage on the inside, because trying to use this pen around the inside I think might be a bit more fiddly for my skill level. But what I did start doing, where is it? There it is. I dug out some different stencils and I thought, well, I've got a kind of honeycomb one. So I thought we could do the next bit together. And all I've done is tried to kind of line it up on here. Now obviously if you've got a flat surface it does make this so much easier. And I did have to kind of hold things in place with my hands. Obviously you can use washi tapes and things if you've got a flatter surface. But I just kind of lined it up, something like that. And then I literally am just colouring in. Now these are quite a chunky nib, so you can't do like super fine details, which was another reason why I thought stencils was a good idea, because you can obviously just sort of colour over the stencil itself. But if you are hand drawing, it's a little bit more tricky to do any fine details. So this is pretty much all I did last time, is I just went through and coloured. I'm just holding it in place with my fingers. And yeah, just going along and colouring in that stencil. Now, as I said, this is cheap wood, so you do get a little bit of a bleed. I really don't mind that, considering the pens were a couple of pounds, I think. I can't quite remember the price, but they weren't very expensive. And it's just a way to add a fun effect to some of my wood items. So yeah, I'm not fussed if there's a little bit of a bleed. But yeah, but considering there are 3 pens in the pack, I think the only thing I possibly would have liked is maybe some different thicknesses, so you could perhaps do some finer details. But also at the same time, like I said, I just bought these just because I thought, oh, that might be a really good idea. Let's test that out. Because I have looked at those wood burning wands, the ones that kind of heat up. They look a little bit like a soldering iron. But I thought that's another tool that I'm going to have to get. And I'm not sure that I trust myself with another hot tool. So, you know, I burn myself enough on the glue gun and when I'm trying to do heat embossing with embossing powders. So I thought, do I really want another hot tool? So I thought this might be an easy save. So you've got your design on there. So it does say draw your design, then just heat. So I'm just using the standard heat gun that I would use for my embossing. Now this is going to get very loud, but it is super, super quick. So you'll see it darken pretty much straight away. Obviously the longer you hold it over, the darker it will get. So I'm just going to switch this on. Apologise for the noise. I will try and turn it down when I do my editing. Okay, and there we go. So I'm going to, like I said, do some decoupaging. So I'm going to leave that one blank, stencil that one. That one's going to be blank, so I'm going to stencil this one. So I'm going to do the same process again. But it just shows you how easy these pens are actually to use. I was very pleased with them. As I said, a little bit of bleed. But in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't bother me. It's just to kind of add a bit of fun decoration. Obviously, if you were going to be doing this properly, then you might want to invest in the proper tools. Or I think nowadays you can get those posh machines, can't you, that actually sort of engrave and do all the nice patterns on your wood. But then I thought, well, save myself a few £100. Yes, it's not the detailed designs that you can get, but it's still just a little bit of fun and a different technique, and I like to try new things, but I also like to try new things on a budget, so this suits me down to the ground. I mean, while I kind of comment about the thickness of these pens and like, would I like a fine liner, it also makes it quite handy having a nice thick nib, because this task then doesn't become too tedious where you're then trying to colour in with the teeniest, tiniest nib in the world. This one does actually seem to colour it quite quickly. Right, last one. There we go. So again, I'm just going to do exactly the same thing and just heat this up. And there we go. So that's my 3 sides done, and I think it looks really cool actually. I mean, I really like the obviously the different wood effects that you're getting coming through as well. I really like that. So yeah, like I said, quite a fun pen set actually, and you do get 3 in the box. As I said, they are all the same thickness, but you get 3 in a box, so I really like that. So that's that one. As I said, I was playing around with these little things, and then I thought, well, I could do some numbers. They might be pretty cool. And then I thought, well, you can do keyrings for all sorts. You can do keyrings for birthdays. So I dug out this numbers one. You could do your door number. You could do somebody's age. So I thought I'd have a little play around with that. I mean, obviously for an age, you'd probably do a milestone birthday. But yeah, I thought this would be pretty cool. So I'm actually going to, I think those numbers are possibly too, oh no, they're not too big. Let's try one of those then. So I'm going to go with number 9. I'm just going to try and line that up on there. And then I'm just going to hold it in place while I kind of colour in. Okay, then just move my hands. I'm really sorry if you can't see too much. It is very difficult to try and hold the stencil in place, but also have the area free so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've just traced the 9, and then let's heat up that one. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. So yes, you can do door numbers. As I said, I just made this one look a little bit grungy. So on a fine detail one like this, let's flip it over and do the other side. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter that you haven't got that kind of finer pen. Because you're able to kind of just pick up the details anyway. So you literally just kind of colour over. I mean, I don't know what ink this is, but if they had this in a stamp pad, could you imagine the possibilities? The amount of stamps that I have. Oh, I'm now wondering, like an embossing ink, if I colour in the stamp, would it then transfer? Oh, there's an idea. Right, bear with. I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to have a look and see if that works. Right, let's take this off. Put the lid on that. Awesome. Yeah, so just a kind of more grungier one. Right, so lots of examples so far. I think I'm going to go and have a look for a quick stamp. Right, so I'm thinking something not particularly fine detailed at the moment. So I've got these, and I know it's bigger, but if I'm clever enough to kind of get it in the middle, then it might be all right. So I'm just going to try and see if this works. If I colour in this, will it transfer? It may not. This may not work at all. Okay, I am going over with just a very generous amount of ink. Right, let's try that. So I'm going to try and line this up to the middle as best I can. I'm going to give it a good press. Really hope this works. This is going to be really awesome if it does. Okay, it's not fantastic. Let's heat it up though. Okay, so it's not perfect, but I'm actually not too disappointed by that either. I'm just going to give that a clean though. Okay, I'm now wondering, perhaps with a larger image. So I'm going to pick this flower. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to colour over it. Right, let's try it again. I'll do it on the other side though. I'm just going to pop it down, give it a good press. And let's heat it up and see how it looks. Okay, so it's definitely not perfect with the stamps. It is a little bit blotchy, but do you know what? I kind of don't mind. I think it still looks pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I think they actually work pretty well with stencils. I love the look of this. I think once it's all kind of decoupage and I've got it all decorated, I think it's going to look pretty cool. I love the fact that you can have numbers on here, because that then, like I said, you could use it for somebody's birthday. If it's a milestone, it could be your door number. Stencils definitely seem to work best. Of course, you can hand draw. As I said, I'm not an artist, so stencils for me, I think, is going to be the way forward. I might still have a play around with stamps, maybe have a look at different types of stamps and see what works. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving these pens. I think these were a really good purchase. So yeah, pack of 3. I will link them down below if you are interested in purchasing these as well. I'll also have a link to my other Temu video where I did an unboxing of all the different things that I got if you are interested. Yeah, but these were definitely a very good deal for 3 pens, and yeah, I really like actually how these turned out. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not already a subscriber, I would love to have you as one. So please click that subscribe button and the bell, because then you are notified of any new crafty videos. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next crafty video. Bye for now.